While training for my instrument rating, there are a few lessons that I ended up learning that are kind of not really related to the knowledge part of instrument flying, but kind of just more like general life lessons that I've just learned. So that's what we're going to talk about today, is the lessons that I've learned during my instrument training. I kind of learned both of these, the easy way and the hard way. So you guys learned the easy way. I'm going to tell you all about them. There's currently 11 on the list, so we'll go ahead and we'll start. First lesson that I learned is trust your instruments. I kind of learned this a little bit during private as well. I actually have had an illusion before while under the foggles during private. And so the big thing with instrument training is trust your instruments. They're gonna tell you the truth rather than what your body's gonna be telling you, because you don't have any outside reference. I don't know if you guys seen, there's this one example somewhere. I'll try to find it and throw up a clip where it was talking about an illusion where somebody holds up a stick and then they say the direction that you're turning in, and then eventually once they stay in that prolonged turn, they will just say that they're not in the turn anymore, even though they will be spinning. Anyways, that's one of the illusions, so trust your instruments. And the second thing that I also have, which is going to sound very counterintuitive to the first thing, is trust yourself as well. Now, I just said don't trust what you're feeling. Why would you trust yourself? I'm not talking about trusting yourself as in like trusting what you're feeling. No, I mean trusting yourself as in trusting the knowledge, like trusting your knowledge and trusting what you've learned, and I wouldn't say relying on it, but basically having the confidence in what you learned and what you know. I didn't learn it recently. I actually learned it before my financial struggle happened, because I'll tell you guys the story. So we were on the ILS into Punta Gorda. It was an approach down to minimums and I didn't see the runway. Now, this was the time where I was still kind of doing my time building, so I was doing occasional IFR training flights with my instructor at the time. So I didn't know exactly everything in 91-175. it was maybe like, I don't know, the third week of like flying with my instructor after getting my private and work on instrument and stuff like that. Didn't know anything about 91-175. I didn't know about the red terminating bars on the ALSIF 2. I think that I didn't know I thought you had to have the whole runway in sight. We learn from what we experience. We learn from what we experience, and we just have to trust ourselves with our experiences. So that's a good learning lesson. Third lesson. Chair flying helps a lot more than you think. Now you guys might be like, what are you talking about? Chair flying? How can you chair fly an instrument? Well, follow the procedure. You know, weather, build, brief. So you can pretend to get the weather, you can pretend to build the approach, you can even pull up an approach on your iPad and be like, okay, we're coming in for the RNAV GPS runway 7 into Albert Whitted Airport, or something like that. You just go through and brief yourself on how to fly the approach, and run different scenarios too, not just approaches. Run some different scenarios, run some clearances, run approaches, missed approaches, SID, stars, anything that you're probably going to endure on the check ride or even in real life. Make sure you guys practice them. That's why I'm also a big believer in Microsoft Flight Simulator over here on Le Computer. It helps a lot because it's all procedure. And that goes on to number 4, use a flight simulator for instrument. If you guys remember, and you guys have been following me since, well, I guess January, you guys know I did a few live streams of me going up in the diamond on the simulator and just shooting some instrument approaches. Just wanted to get some practice. I was vectoring myself in like I was ATC, didn't have any visual references, and tried hand flying the approaches on Flight Simulator. It was really difficult, but getting that practice does help you get a gauge of what it's going to be like in the real world. Now, this is more for instrument, not for private. Private, you're basically going to be relying on what you feel as well, because there's going to be different controllability things. Whereas instrument, it's all procedure. I could have done it in the E320. I could have done it in a DA40. I could have done it in a, I don't know, Beechcraft Bonanza if I really wanted to on the simulator. I try to stick with the type of airplane that you're in and the avionics on the simulator as much as possible. But it's all going to be procedural, so you're not really going to be like flipping a bunch of switches or everything. It's kind of like loading an approach and then actually like flying the approach. All right, number 5, fifth thing I learned, stay ahead of the airplane. I was really good at staying ahead of the airplane as a VFR pilot until I started my instrument training. I was like, wow. I was shocked with myself. I was getting irritated with myself because I kept flying behind the airplane. But it's something that you also learn as well. Now, instrument, it's going to be a lot more workload intensive. There's going to be a lot easier chances of falling behind on the airplane. So you just kind of keep doing what you got to do. Stay ahead of the airplane. There's a little thing that I kept doing myself is I like talking everything out. So like when I was building the approach, I'm like, okay. I would also build the approach and brief it at the same time. So I'm like, okay, we're coming from this direction. So we're probably going to get CW build. We're probably going to get loyal. We're probably going to get file. I like the RNAV7 into my airport. It's kind of engraved into my brain.
Q4 from file, maintain 2000 established, clear for the RNAV runway 7 at Whitted.
Alright, maintain 2000 and cleared for the RNAV 7 at Whitted, 165 Juliet Yankee.
For example, it could also be like, when do you guys switch to CDI needles on a VOR approach or localizer approach or an ILS from purple to green? Because if you guys didn't know, you guys need green needles for ground-based navigation. That's also why they're green for ground. Yeah. We're halfway done with the video, but I want to know, drop it down in the comments below, what's been the hardest part of your instrument training if you're in instrument training, or what was the hardest part in your instrument training? I'm curious. Was it the approaches, staying ahead of the airplane, the instrument scan, partial panel? Let me know down in the comments below. I'd be interested to hear what you guys have to say. Okay, number 6 thing that I learned, which is probably a big thing, weather build brief. Now, I know we all hear this little mnemonic while we're in our instrument training, weather build brief, but there's a little thing that I like to do it. So first off, weather build brief. Let's talk about it for a second. So first off, we grab the weather and then we build the approach. Okay, usually you're gonna get the weather before you request the approach. So get the weather, and then usually it's gonna be an ATIS. It's gonna tell you either ILS Zulu runway 36. I don't know if that's even a real approach anywhere. Oh, probably, maybe. ILS Zulu, ILS Yankee, RNAV Bravo, VOR Bravo. You're not gonna know until you listen to the ATIS. So get that weather, then build the approach, and then brief the approach. Now, I did something on my approach briefings, which was really helpful, is while I was talking about the frequencies, I would actively be putting them in. So if I knew that I'm going to tower next, then I'll bug in tower. And then I will also have the weather bugged in, and then we'd be talking to the approach controller. So bug in the frequencies while you're briefing the approach. It'll help you stay ahead of the airplane as well, which goes back to number 5. And let's talk about number 7. I talked about this in another video of what was all on my IFR trek guide. If you guys haven't seen that video, make sure you guys go watch it as well. Partial panel. Partial panel was a big struggle for me getting ready for my check ride. I'd say like maybe 2 weeks before my check ride, I was really nervous about the partial panel part. When you lose one instrument, your workload doubles, and when you lose your attitude indicator, everything just feels chaotic. So here's what I did. If you guys saw my last video, if you guys want to know what I did into depth, watch my last video. But what I did was basically I started using the vertical speed indicator as my primary pitch instrument instead of the attitude indicator, because the attitude indicator is going to be failed. So we rely on the vertical speed indicator, and then our instrument scan changes from a vertical T basically to an upside down T, even though there's a few diagonals in there too. Because the heading indicator will show you bank, turn coordinator will show you supporting bank, vertical speed indicator will show you primary pitch, and then altitude will show you secondary pitch. Why do I use VSI? It's more sensitive than the altimeter. So it'll easily show whether you're nose up or nose down. Number 8, weather is everything. This kind of didn't happen in my instrument training, even though it kind of did, not really. I was more of on a flight with my mom, and we were trying to get back to Albert Whitted from Sebring, and we had to divert to Wauchula, sit there for about 20 minutes, and then fly south to Sarasota to come back from the north. Weather is everything. So know the storm movements, cloud tops, freezing levels, turbulence levels, icing levels, anything possible. The more information that you know, the safer decision that you can make. I think I had a good decision to divert and then fly around the storms. I was good on fuel. There were less clouds in the way. Oh, I shouldn't just say less clouds. There was no rain, cumulus clouds, not towering cumulonimbus, and it was still VFR. This was before instrument rating as well, so I had to maintain VFR. I couldn't just get a pop-up IFR. Okay, number 9. Checklists and flows are your best friend. Now let's talk about this. I know you guys in your private pilot training, you guys would be like, okay, climb checklist. You'd read flaps up, mixture, lean above 3,000 feet, power as required, lights as required. Do not read the checklist off word for word while flying. Now, I know that's gonna sound stupid for me to say, and I know all the pilots are gonna be like, why are you saying not to use a checklist? I'm not saying not to use a checklist. I'm saying not to use a checklist as your primary source. You guys should learn a flow. The only thing that I would actually use the checklist in reference that you're making sure you're doing everything correctly on, I'd say the run-up checklist and the startup checklist are the two that I follow line for line. Climb, take off, climb, cruise, descent. I use flows and then I back it up with the checklist. So basically, I'd run through my flow and then I run through the checklist to make sure I did everything. It makes things a lot easier on you because you don't have to read the checklist line for line. And then also when you can't see outside, you don't really want to be looking down as much. So if you go through a flow and then read through the checklist and make sure you did everything correctly, you'll save a lot of head down time, whereas it'll be better for you because you won't get spatially disoriented as easily as you would if you were relying on the checklist line for line. Okay, number 10, treat every approach like it's going to be a missed approach. Now, we brief our approaches. Usually when we do an approach, we're going to be like, yes, we're going to shoot this approach. We're going to land. It's going to be a great time. No, every time you guys go fly and you guys go shoot an instrument approach, expect to go missed on every single approach. So have your hand on the power, follow it. Occasionally look outside so you can try to find the runway environment. Be prepared in case you have to do a missed approach. Every approach should be treated if it were to be a missed approach and not a landing, because you might not have one of the three things that are required for you to descend below your decision altitude or your minimum descent altitude. Those three things, if you guys don't know, which you guys should know, especially if you're in your instrument training, 91, 175, go look at that regulation, but the three things that you guys need to have to descend below your MDA or DA is the runway environment in sight, adequate visibility, and stable approach to landing. So if you guys cannot maintain a stable approach to landing, you guys cannot descend below. If you guys do not have adequate visibility, you guys cannot descend below. And if you guys do not have the runway environment in sight, is it really a smart idea to descend below? Probably not. And number 11, IFR will make you a lot better pilot. Your precision will improve, your decision making improves, and your confidence will skyrocket when you get your instrument rating. Trust me, I haven't flown yet since I've gotten my instrument rating. I'm kind of taking like a little 3-week break just to get finances back in order. But your instrument training will make you a lot more precise. And I have noticed it when I was doing VFR flights. I was maintaining altitude a lot better. I was maintaining heading a lot better, all that fun stuff. So your precision will improve, and then your decision making, you're gonna learn more about weather. So you'll know better when to make a go or no go decision. If you guys are working on your instrument rating, make sure you guys go hit that subscribe button. I plan to make a ton of instrument videos because it's still fresh in my brain and I feel like I can recite it off the top of my head. If you guys have your instrument check ride coming up, let me know down in the comments below. And also, I want to give a special thank you to my channel members who have stuck with me. Even though I haven't been posting content much, I greatly appreciate you guys' support. I promise I will make members only content a lot more now. I have a lot more free time on my hands, so I'll be doing that. And then also, if you guys are not a member, but you guys have stuck around to the end of the video, I want to give you guys a thank you as well, because your support helps me do what I love the most, and that is, well, flying airplanes and, well, talking to you guys on the internet. So my name's Captain Ethan. It's a beautiful day to fly. It's a beautiful day to fly planes, and we'll see you guys up in the clouds.